Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy, and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're thrilled to have you with us today at USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. Joining me is the star of our show and also a dear friend. We actually recently met in Vienna. His name is Roland Friedl, and he has been traveling in his motorhome for the last 3+ years, living a wireless life that rocks. He's a entrepreneur. He is a coach, he's a mentor, and he's an author. And he is joining us today to tell us about his healthy lifestyle as we look at fit at age 60+. Come on out, Mr. Friedl. Welcome. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to see you again, and hello to our audience. And by the way, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And by the way, I picked up this little dress here at a charity shop when I was in Milan, I think. So
okay.
I always like to give clothes a sustainable lifestyle as they keep living. And I've been loving your pictures. It looks like it's beautiful where you are. That I don't know if it was a lake or that beautiful, clear, crystal clear water.
Yeah, actually, the last 2 weeks, I really do a nice tour in Austria, in my home country, in Upper Austria and in Styria since a week. Yeah, I spent in Graz, the capital of Styria, and on a camping site. And besides that, there's a public pool. And for the camping site, you get a free entrance. And they have a 120 to 90 meter pool. So it's a 11,000 square meter pool. It's and it's a real pool. It's not a lake or something. It's a pool with such clean water. And I did a lot of swim. And yeah, today I made a break, a working break on a small lake, swimming a little bit. And right now I'm in the mountains. So I was a little bit nervous if the network is working. I'm here on an organic farm. I can stay here for 2 nights for free. And yeah, very lovely family here. And amazing view in the mountains. A little bit smelling. Luckily, our audience can only see me and hear me, but not smell. Not me, I'm showered, guys. But outside the farmhouse, you can smell it. But it's okay. It's a good smell.
All those animal smells. Exactly. So we're talking about being fit and focused and thriving at 60. And you have a birthday coming up. When is it?
On September 12th.
September 12th. By the way, I think
September
Red's
12th,
birthday is
61, yeah.
September 9th, I think. And so I turned 62 in March. And so you and I met in person. We did a lot of walking. We drank a lot of water. And I'd say pretty much we're both fit. And I think younger than our years for sure. What do you think?
Absolutely, Jacalyn. Absolutely. We are both fit and healthy, and I guess we look much younger than our passport is saying. And it's funny because when I arrived here at the farmhouse, the owner is quite young, maybe 40 and 30, I don't know. Nice guy, Thomas. And I came an hour ago, something like an hour ago. And I wanted to prepare for the show, but we had a long, nice conversation about yoga because they have a yoga platform here. They produce organic products, stuff like that, and we talked about food and veganism and carnivore and stuff like that. And then he said, "How old are you?" And I said, "What do you think?" And he had no idea. He thought about my influence, and I said, "No, 61 in September." And he said, "Believe what you're doing." I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm no miracle pills. You're just healthy food." Maybe we have a discussion today about what I mean by healthy food. Healthy workouts. I walk every day, 10,000, 15,000 steps. Healthy sleep, healthy environment, and healthy, meaning positive mindset people around me. Yeah, it was funny. It was fun.
That's nice, though, when you hear things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look yourself in the mirror, and I think, oh man, what an old man is looking here. I always see my dad, especially when I look from my dad was bald, yeah, but from the side of my face, I look like my dad. I said, oh shit, God bless him. He passed away 5 years ago. He would be 91. I thought, oh my gosh, I look like I'm getting older. But then people came around and said, no, you don't look like 60.
No, definitely.
I guess it's not charming, but I really feel good. I'm not overweight. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm normal size. I don't take any medication, any pharmaceuticals. I have no back pain or normal. I don't know what you have. Civilizations problems like, I don't know, blood pressure or cholesterol or nothing. Luckily.
You really are lucky. That's truly a blessing. And I think also you've got a terrific mindset. And I think that you prioritize health and your fitness and your wellness. I mean, I saw that just from the 2 days that we spent together. And I know for me, working out is number one. It's at the top of the list. And people think I'm crazy. In fact, I told you that I signed up for this indoor triathlon. I'm really excited. And the funny thing is, after the coach was talking about in one of the fitness classes, I went up and I spoke to him and asked some questions. And I just wondered, was it going to be based on age? Because would I be competing against people of my own age? And he said, no, it's just, you're basically competing against yourself, but they are going to track everyone by the amount of distance that you complete with the swim, the biking, and the running. And so a couple of days later, I thought, you know what? I don't think I can do this. And I went onto the app for Lifetime Fitness. I went on to cancel it, and it wouldn't let me cancel. So I paid $85, and I thought, you know what? I guess I'll lose the money. And then I said to myself, what's coming up for me that I wanted to do it, and now I'm afraid. And that's how life is, I think, all the time. So I thought to myself, it's just the fact that I haven't been swimming. I haven't been in a pool. I don't have a bathing suit. So I had all these excuses for myself. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a bathing cap. I'm going to get some goggles, and I'm going to get a one-piece swimsuit, and that's it. So I'm going tonight for my first time to swim, and I hope to swim for an hour after I lift weights. We'll see.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's good. But that's so important. What you mentioned, Dr. Jacalyn, is we have so many excuses. We don't have time. We don't have the money. We don't have the equipment. We are too old. We are too young. Whatever. Yeah, it's all about excuses. And yeah, absolutely, you're absolutely right. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. You're gonna make it. I'm quite sure. I remember when I signed up for my first marathon in Vienna. I will never forget it. A few days before, I said, no, I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up. I'm not showing up. I guess it's normal. I guess not. I think that our subconsciousness wants to protect us from something unknown or uncertain. I don't know. I guess that's normal.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's the uncertainty because we're so used to doing things a certain way. But even for me, I feel like, I was going to solid core. I'd go to solid core, 1,062 classes. I just did a double the other day. People were in shock. And part of the reason why I did the double was because I invited Justin, one of our team members, as a guest. And so I was going to the class at 3:30 and he was stuck in traffic, and you can't cancel or it's $37. So when I went into the class, I said, could I do the 4:30 also? And the coach was like, you're going to do a double? And I said, yeah, well, my friend can't make it here until 4:30. So then we went there. I did the double, he did the single, and then we went to Lifetime and lifted weights. And I feel like I want to put myself out there when it comes to trying new things, because there was a point in my life when I wasn't doing solid core, when I wasn't doing weightlifting. And so now why not do this triathlon and just see where it goes?
Yeah, it's a jump in the cold water. Just go for it. I was just smiling when you remembered how you went in. I remember when I was a student, I was 21, something like that. And my girlfriend at the time, she was horseback riding. And I had a girlfriend before. I was a little bit horseback riding. It's not I didn't like it. First of all, I couldn't afford my own horse. Secondly, I really have respect from these large animals. And we had a party, my girlfriend, myself, and her best friend, another girl who also was a rider. And they had riding lessons the next day, but both have been drunk. So, but I already paid for the riding class. So they said, well, it's paid. And my girlfriend did it, but her friend couldn't do it. Said, Roland, you want to jump in? And I was still drunk from the day before. So I said, yeah, I'm going. So I did this riding class. And since then, I was riding 3 times a week. So sometimes the circumstances force us into something new and make us happy.
So true. And, I love that you shared that. I actually took horseback riding lessons a number of years ago. I think it was before the pandemic. And I was really scared. I was totally afraid. I bought 10 lessons, of course. Like, why wouldn't I just buy 1 lesson and see how it goes? But I bought 10. And to be honest, after the second lesson, I didn't think it was for me. And the horse knew I was afraid. And it reminded me of skiing, because I'm not a good skier. I can do cross country, but downhill, a couple people have knocked me over and I was rolling down the hill. So that was the end. But with the horseback riding, because I don't have this skill set, I wasn't in control. And I also didn't like the idea of that I was riding this animal. Like, I don't know. So it wasn't for me. So I tried it and it wasn't for me. Okay. And thinking of being fit, one thing I'd love to try, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, is I've always wanted to do hang gliding, where you jump off of a cliff or something with this kite and I don't know, would you ever do it?
No, I did, paragliding.
Paragliding, okay.
From the military, yeah. I have a little bit that. What I did is paragliding, out behind the boat, when you're on the seaside, stuff like that. Yeah, I would love to do so. I love to try things out. It's about getting out of the comfort zone, challenging myself, because it's funny. Even I have been paragliding. I still have, not always, but sometimes I really have high fright. And especially when I come up here the mountain with my motorhome, also was high fright, because the street was a little bit, challenging, let's say, like this. But it's good to challenge yourself, absolutely. I have another story for horseback riding. When I started riding, I had a few lessons in Austria, and then I went to the US. I was studying at the Ohio University, and then for a weekend with some friends, we went to Kentucky. A week or something, like a longer weekend, for a week. And then we also rented horses. and the guy was really funny, because he said he wants the money in advance. And I said, why? Normally you pay afterwards. He said, no, he said, you're a beginner. The horse knows the way back, but if you don't show up, I lose the money, so pay me now. So, okay, that's a good start. That's a good start. When I fall down, at least the horse is coming back to the stable.
Absolutely. So obviously we really agree about fitness and how important that is. And of course, what you're putting into your body. And I think also the mindset. So I know that you told me you give gratitude even before you get out of bed in the morning. And I do something similar. Tell us more about that, please.
Yeah, I think the mindset is very, very important. I did some research and I found out that I found some studies that, when you have negative emotions or emotional stress, yeah, you produce a lot of free radicals, which are harming your cells. So I was digging deeper and deeper, and I found out that a positive mindset is very, very important, not only for being successful in life and business, but also for your mental and physical health also. So I was always working on a positive mindset, and my story as a kid. I had a very bad childhood, and yeah, it was not a sunny part of my life, my childhood. But I was always a fighter, and I had two choices, and I think I didn't make these choices consciously, because I don't remember. My torture started when I was 5 years old. So, but I made a decision. I mean, you have to make a decision when you have a very, very bad life, and you're always blaming about it, and maybe you feel like a victim, and maybe you become addicted to drugs, alcohol, or something to forget everything, or you move to the other direction and becoming a fighter in a positive way, and becoming a leader, and taking self-responsibility. And I don't remember when this happened in my childhood, but I made the decisions. And I always made the best out of it. And to be honest, and I don't see a problem. I always see, of course, there's a challenge, but I'm always looking for a solution. I'm never asking why something is happening. When something happens to me, what also happens to me, of course, I'm also challenged, of course. But I'm not complaining. I'm not feeling like a victim. I said, okay, what is the next step? How to get out of it? How can I fix it? How can I sort it out? I don't know how this happened. It's not from my parents. Maybe my mom a little bit, but my father was more negative. I don't know. I cannot explain it. But for me, mindset is so important. And I think what helped me in my early years is that because I didn't feel safe at home, I had a kind of second family where I felt safe, and this were all positive people who motivated me a lot. I learned a lot from them, and yeah, I think it's so important to have a positive mindset. When people ask me how to get a positive mindset, what to do? First of all, is switch off TV, not USA Global TV and Radio, but switch off mainstream media, radio. Cancel all newspapers, all negative news. Get rid of all this negative news, because people start in the morning, they get up, making a coffee or having a breakfast. They're listening to the news, and everything is negative. And this goes into your mind unconsciously. It makes something with you. Even if you don't listen actively, it makes something with you. And I learned this in my early years, and I said, okay, no mainstream media. I don't listen to it. I don't read this negative stuff. It's happening anyway. I cannot change it. I'm taking care about myself. I'm taking care about my family. I'm taking care about my friends, and I'm taking care about my hood. So the small community around me. And yeah, mindset is so important. So positive mindset means surround yourself with positive people and switch off radio and negative news. It's easy.
Excellent. And also, to your point, listening to the news at night, some people will catch the nighttime news, and that's what you're going to bed with. That's filling your head with all kinds of thoughts. And with mindset also, one thing that I have been doing for the last number of years, I think as a result of caring for my mother full time, I had to really set boundaries, because that was my priority, and obviously my health. And that's when I started this platform. And that's when I met you and our other wonderful team members. So I've had to basically say to myself, what can I do to find the solution? And I've shared this before. And as life goes, people are always throwing us opportunities for us to become highly emotional and lose composure, and then be sucked down into this vortex of nothingness but negativity. And I'm not going there. And it's interesting. I mean, very recently, someone just tried to bring me down to a very low level, and I just set a boundary and said, I'm not discussing this anymore. I'm just not going here. And I think that's the same thing with fitness. Is you and I both know the value of taking care of our bodies, including sleep, water, exercise and what we're consuming. And other people might not like it. They might not understand it. I get from people all the time, why do you work out so much? You're going to get hurt. You're ruining yourself. You're blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, why aren't you working out more instead of judging what I'm doing? Because I don't really care what you're doing. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. So I set a boundary. And so that's what I'm sharing with our audience, that it's about your mindset and it's about making a commitment to doing something. And like I mentioned, I was wavering after I signed up for the triathlon, but because they wouldn't let me cancel, which is a good thing because probably people are doing that, right? I said to myself, no, you made a commitment and the universe is telling you that you need to go forward with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Jacalyn? Sometimes people say, yeah, Roland, you have a lot of time. You don't have a 9-to-5 job. And I said, what do you mean? I had a 9-to-5 job in the corporate world, not for many years, but I did the same. I also have a lifestyle. I mean, people believe that living a healthy life is a lot of effort, a lot of money investment, a lot of time investment. It's not true. I give you an example. Let's start with food. We all are thirsty. We have to drink. We all drink. So, I mean, what's the difference, the time investment between drinking beer and drinking clear water? Nothing. And water is cheap. Well, when you have it from the tube, it's cheaper than beer anyway. So it's the special when you buy food. What's the time difference between buying healthy food and big food products? Yeah, it's not more time effort. Cooking is the same. Healthy food, unhealthy food, it's the same stuff. Also, working out. I mean, I have a dog. I have to walk my dog anyway. I go archery when I'm in Austria. So I always walk. When I have to go to the supermarket or the farmer's shop or to the laundry, I walk. So I know it's a little bit different in Europe than in America. I do a lot of walking, and this is my cardio. And then I do 20 minutes of a little bit weightlifting and stretching. That's what I'm doing. So it's not really a lot of time effort and not money effort. Absolutely not. It's not about buying fancy clothes and signing up in an exclusive Chile fitness studio, and it's not about that. What you said, it's about the mindset. And for me, it's normal. I don't think about all the time about fitness and running and eating healthy. It's part of my life. It's just normal. Like for somebody else, it's normal coming home, switching on the TV set and having, I don't know, a packet of chips or whatever and a Coke or a beer. For me, it's normal to do this. So I don't think about it, or I don't think about I have to do this. It's not about I have to do it. I love what I'm doing, and I think this is one most important thing, and it also has to do with our mindset. It's not about I have to do this. I have to eat healthy. I have to work out. No, I love to do it, because I enjoy it. And maybe when we change our behaving, of course, it might be a little bit difficult, a little bit challenging in the beginning, of course. But afterwards, I guess we really enjoy it. Absolutely.
And I always say, I get to do this. How blessed am I that I get to do this? And when it comes to time, along with what you were saying, I recently had to calculate how many hours I'm working and what all the hours of what I'm doing, because I am part of the Census Bureau census polling. And it turns out it was 91 hours a week is what I'm typically working. So when people say to me, will you have the time to work out? No, I make the time. So instead of doing other things, I don't focus my time on social life per se. So whereas some people are, they're very social and they're out doing this, that, and the other, and I admire that. I have my social time at lunches and dinners with team members or clients and occasionally friends. And at the same time, I'm really grateful that I have the ability to go and work out, because it's part of my plan. It's part of what I do. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be back. And let's take a look as we look at the new book I have coming out. Why not? It's Lady Ella and Lord Jack's Kindness Adventures. Take a look at this.
From the magical world of the amazing adventures of Lady Ella comes a heartwarming new journey filled with kindness, courage, and compassion. Lady Ella, the beloved ladybug and listening mentor, is back, and this time she is not alone. Meet her brave and thoughtful brother, Lord Jack. Together, they take flight on their very first kindness adventure. Along the way, they meet 3 new friends in need: a duck feeling discouraged, a mouse struggling to be understood, and a busy little bee somebody who's completely lost. But with the power of elevated listening and simple acts of kindness, Lady Ella and Lord Jack show us how understanding and empathy can make the biggest difference in someone's day. Written by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the listening mentor. This 9th book in the best-selling Lady Ella series teaches children ages 5 to 10 the essential skills of listening, kindness, and etiquette. Now available for pre-order on Amazon. Scan the QR code and order your copy today.
Welcome back, everyone. It's your healthy lifestyle show here at USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we're discussing, myself and Roland Friedl, about being healthy, focused, and fit at 60. And of course, I'm 62 and he's going to be 61. So we're hoping that you'll take some wonderful tips away from what it is that we're doing and maybe incorporate some of it into your life. Let's welcome Roland back to the program. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Ron. Yeah, good. I could use the commercial break. I was standing here in the farmhouse and my dog was outside and she was barking like crazy because other guests are around. So I brought her in so she can relax.
And I met your dog. She's lovely. She's lovely. So, Roland, what I'd like to talk a little bit now is about what we're putting inside of our bodies and looking at our bodies sort of as a temple, as a vessel, as opposed to food is about entertainment. It's about waking up and immediately eating. And then after you eat, you think about what am I going to eat for lunch? And then, hey, what are we having for dinner? And we're having people over at night. So it's all about food as opposed to fuel, as opposed to energy, as opposed to clarity, mind clarity, because if you're putting a bunch of sugar and sugary things into your body, that clouds your mindset. What are your thoughts about what I'm sharing right now?
Well, food is very important for our health. But I think when we talk about it's important, then some people misunderstand it, because for some people, food is so important because they cover their frustrations, they cover their traumas, and food become an addiction to them. Food is important in a way of giving us food, giving the body, giving the cells what we need. Most people don't understand why we're eating. It's not we're just hungry and we eat something and the feeling is gone. There's something going on afterwards in our body. Meaning that the ingredients of the food that we take in becomes part of our cells, becomes part of our body. And this is what most people don't understand. It's not about that we just eat that the hunger feeling is gone. No, it's about it becomes part of our cells, parts of our body. And to be honest, for my body, I want the best. No toxic, no pharmaceutical stuff, no GMO stuff, or I just want the best for my body, the best food for my body. Fresh food. And that's what we have to understand. Because when I talk to people, I said, I eat when I'm hungry, or I eat because I'm bored. And eating is not how do I say? Eating is not there just to to spend some time because we are bored or just cover whatever negative emotions we wanna suppress. It's about becoming part of ourselves, giving us the energy. It's of course the energy. The food gives us the energy. We can move, we can think, and so on, and act. But it also becomes part of our body. And this is what most people don't realize. And I think I want to have the best material being part of my body. That's what I strongly believe. And you can see it from the people, how they look like. How the skin looks like. You can see how the eyes looks like. So you can see how they move and everything. You can see it from the food they're taking in. Absolutely.
What about food as a reward? So, for example, sometimes people will say, well, I worked really hard this week, or I saved X amount of dollars, or I did so much exercise. So now I'm going to reward myself with something. What do you think?
I did it myself last Friday. I was archery like crazy. I thought I'm gonna die in the mountains, and I was back on the camping site after swimming and shower. By chance I found an Italian ice cream shop. They produced their own ice cream, and of course I wouldn't say it was a reward, but I had an ice cream and I enjoyed it. It's nothing bad about enjoying or rewarding yourself. But do you really have to reward yourself every day? Isn't it enough when you reward yourself maybe every 2 weeks or something like that? Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not rewarding? Yes, but not every day. Not every day. I guess the point is when you have so-called. I don't like the word cheat day because you're not cheating. When you eat something that you really love, so sweet, or you reward yourself, with whatever it is, with a glass of wine or a gin tonic or whatever. It's not about regretting it, just enjoying it. When I do it, eating something sweet or a very, very rare occasion that I drink alcohol, I just enjoy it. I love the smell, the taste, and it's good, but not every day. I guess that's the difference. And I think this is how we did it years ago. I don't know how about the US, but here in Europe, I remember, 50 years ago or 55 years ago when I was a small kid, there was no supermarket, none of them in Europe. We had grocery shops. And my mom, she gave me, we what you call penny, we called it groschen before we had the euro. So for a very small amount of money, I went to the grocery shop for a sweet, and he opened a jar and gave me one piece out of it, and I was in heaven. I enjoyed it. And today you go to supermarket, you can buy it in family packs like this. I was just too much. It's nothing against enjoying sweets or alcohol or whatever it is. I guess it's about the quantity. And everything. I don't know who was it. Was it a philosopher? Or I don't know who said it. Is everything that is too much is toxic.
Right. As my father would say, everything in moderation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
But moderation is also, I mean, the point is when you drink every day a glass of beer, alcohol, you're also an alcoholic. Even if you're not drunk. So in moderation means maybe, I don't know, once a week or something like that. Yeah, because some people eat in moderation sweet every day, or they drink alcohol in moderation every day, or they smoke in moderation every day, or they're taking cocaine in moderation every day. The question is, what is in moderation? What do you think?
That's a good question. I think, and I think we could be challenged on this as well. For example, people who are eating sugar, but yet they go and have I know you have one set of feelings about the medical community, but I'm saying for people who go and get physicals on a regular basis and they get their blood tests and all their blood work is fine and they don't have any issues, they might say, well, maybe my body's processing it different than someone else's. I don't know. But to me, moderation means that you're not dependent on it, that it's not bringing you instant joy that then turns into something else. So, many times people will say, oh, I can't wait to have this chocolate. And they're all excited. And then afterwards, like, oh, I wish I didn't eat that, or you wake up and you don't feel well because you ate something or you drank something, whatever the case might be.
Okay. So you're not shaking when a glass of beer or wine is not in front of you. I'm asking because years ago I had a girlfriend. She was very into health. She was working out 3 hours every day, even at home, not only in the gym. She was incredible. And I always was enjoying a glass of wine with just one glass of wine with lunch, one glass of wine with dinner. So what are you in moderation? Yeah. And she said, you're an alcoholic. And I said, did you ever see me drunk? I only have one glass. But she said, but every day. I was thinking about it. Okay, am I an alcoholic because I drink it every day? I thought, oh gosh, maybe I stop it. Yeah. So that's why I'm asking. What is moderation? Yeah. But it's a good explanation. What you said, Dr. Jacalyn, is I guess if it's not an addiction, if you can have a day or a week without it, and you're not shaking or getting nervous or whatever. Yeah, I think so. It's a good explanation.
Well, I think also, and I don't know your girlfriend and I can't, your old girlfriend, but I think also sometimes people will put labels on things because they're against it. So I'll give an example. I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't vape. I've never vaped. I don't do pot. I don't do any drugs. I like Chardonnay and that's about it. But for me, I remember a time when I was on a public beach and there were people smoking and I just thought, oh, they're this and they're that. I was labeling them because I've never smoked and I find it to be not something I want to be around. But yet realistically, I was judging them because they were smoking because I don't smoke. So that could be something similar, that she didn't drink and she was labeling you because you were. I don't know.
I mean, she was drinking. I mean, she was enjoying a glass of champagne or a glass of wine, but not on a daily basis. She was on the weekends or something. We had a drink. Yeah, she was not strictly against it, but she said, "Roland, you drink every day a glass of wine." I said, "Yeah, just one glass, one glass." The French paradoxon.
No.
The French paradox. It's in the health industry. They found out the French people are very healthy. They're not obese. And it's only that they have the Mediterranean food. They're eating a lot of vegetables, fish, and of course meat and all that stuff. But they drink every day. They drink a glass of red wine. So that's the French paradox.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think also because when I was with you in Vienna, you shared with me about the way of life in Vienna with the drinking. And so I think when you're exposed to certain things, then you think certain things about it. I don't know. Excuse me. Do you want to share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I remember the discussion because before you came, I don't know where, but I read an article somewhere online about alcohol, and Austria, my home country, oh my gosh, I'm sorry for that, is number 3 worldwide in alcohol consumption per person. And I said, my gosh, and yeah, Austrians drink a lot of alcohol. It's very normal to drink alcohol with lunch, with dinner. It's very, very normal. People drink a lot. You can drive. Actually, it was normal. When I was a student, it was normal to drive drunk. Totally normal. I guess I told you the story. I had to one day as a student, I had to call the police in the night, and they came. The car came like this, and then they stopped and they opened the door, and both policemen fall out the trunk of the car. So this was quite normal in our society. It's now a little bit more forbidden, but it's still. I was checking the figures because I'm driving in between different countries with my motorhome in Europe, and I'm always checking how fast I can go and stuff like that, and what I have to take care of some special laws. And in many countries in Europe, it's 0.0 alcohol in blood when you drive. In Austria, it's still 0.8 alcohol, so you can still drink and drive, and not being totally drunk. But they cannot handle it. The politics in Austria, they cannot say 0.0. They're gonna lose a lot of weight of voters. So yeah, alcohol is a huge problem in Austria. Absolutely, unfortunately. And a lot of my friends, very successful businessmen, very successful top manager. I don't name here anyone. They're having 2 bottles of wine every dinner, every day on a daily basis. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I will take your word for it. And I know that in Europe, at least what I've experienced from way back when I was traveling on business trips, is you would land at an airport. Let's say you land because you flew in overnight at 6 a.m, 7 a.m, and the bar is full. And I always used to think to myself, are these people getting up? And then I'm thinking, well, they're probably coming from other time zones or something. But you said that's probably not the case.
No, people drink in the morning too. Yeah, I'm in Spain or here in Austria. You can go to a coffee shop in 5 or 6 in the morning, and people have a glass of wine or beer or whatever already. Yeah, for breakfast. I have a funny story too. I was delivering it was a leadership. No, it was a sales training, a 5-day sales training in England for a huge American company. I don't name it here. For a huge American company, a tech company, and we did the training on a venue on one of the venues in the UK. And I had a bunch of French people there. And we had lunch at the venue. So they had their own, company restaurant or catering or whatever. So we had the lunch there. And there was no alcohol in the whole venue in the company. They, of course, in Europe, they don't sell alcohol in a company restaurant. In-house restaurant, and the French people said we want red wine, and the company said no, we don't have red wine here. It's strictly forbidden. It's a company law. No, and you know what? They all stood up. I remember it was 11 or 12 people. They stood up and said, "No way, we fly home." I said the training is going 5 days. They said we give a shit. Sorry, we give a things on that. We go home. If we don't get wine for lunch, we go. So the company really was forced to buy red wine. So they have the red wine for lunch. Not a whole bottle, everyone, but at least a glass of red wine. They have been insisting on that. Otherwise, they would go home.
I guess it was just part of their culture. But it used to be here in the States and maybe all around the world, I don't know, that people would go out for these power lunches and they would have martinis and all kinds of food and then go back to the office. And I don't know how anyone was doing anything. But if you remember the television series, I don't know if they had it over there, but Mad Men, did you see that about the advertising industry?
Yeah.
With John Hamm. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. But that's kind of the way that it was, at a point in time, that it was just part of what you did. And then I guess somebody realized how unhealthy it was, and companies started setting rules and policies, and then things changed.
Yeah. Well, I've been living for 14 years in Spain, and when I had a very good friend, he still is the CEO of a huge company in Spain, and sometimes we went out for a business lunch, and it's also in Spain. It's totally normal for lunch. You have 4 persons on the table. You order a bottle of wine for lunch on a business lunch. It's totally normal. It's totally normal. Yeah, that's different culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my friend, we are actually at the end of our show because we have another show to do after this. So what would you like to leave our audience with today? And by the way, could you share a little bit about what you're doing for people who want to be TV show hosts in Germany, in Austria, and Switzerland?
Yes. First of all, I want to summarize a little bit the topic today. So if you want to be fit in your 50s or 60 plus or 70s, first of all, it's never too late to start or make the decision for a healthy life. It's never too late. And then one final tip: if you're thinking about working out or whatever kind of sports you want to doing, please, if you go on YouTube or any channel, don't look for videos with youngsters, 25, 20, 30-year-old personal coaches are telling you how it's working. Look for somebody who's the same age like you, and maybe a little bit older, and then you get more inspired and say, oh, I'm 60 and this person is 75 and still checked or whatever. That's what encourages me. That's one tip. Okay, so look out for videos, stuff like that, but look for people who are the same age like you, or maybe a little bit older. Not for the youngsters. Doesn't make sense because the body, the physique is different. Okay, that's one thing. And try it out for maybe you start with a half a weekend. Maybe you go to a nice bar hotel and with a nice fitness program, healthy food, and maybe some yoga, meditation can help you. Okay. That's one thing. Then I hope you have fun, and I'm very looking forward if you write to USA Global TV and Radio and give your feedback how you try to be fit and healthy in your 50 plus, 60 plus, 70 plus, or whatever. Thanks for that. Then we talk about what's coming up. USA Global TV and Radio is expanding. We go international, we go in global, and I'm very proud and happy that I got the chance from Dr. Jacalyn and USA Global TV and Radio to support the program outside the English-speaking countries, in the German-speaking countries where I'm from, in the so-called DACH region. So I became the country partner for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, meaning if you're a German-speaking person and you want to host and moderate your own weekly German-speaking TV show, then you're more than welcome to contact me, even if you're a beginner, if you have absolutely no experience. I tell you a short story. 4 years ago, I came to USA Global Radio. I was interviewed by a friend of mine. I was a guest, and then Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck contacted me if I want to run to my own show, and I had no experience. Never ever did it. I gave interviews, yes, but I never had my own show. I never was a radio moderator or a TV moderator. I didn't even have my podcast at the time or something like that. Absolute beginner, absolute newbie. Had no idea. And I can tell you something. I remember I was so nervous the first day. I had a cup of coffee. I was nervous about if the technique is working. I was nervous that I had a Ridgeback at the time, an older dog. I was so nervous that you can't hear my dog snoring in the background. I mean, you're snoring anyway, and stuff like that. But it was a wonderful first show, and I became better and better and more experienced, and I learned so much of it. It's not about that you're gaining customers because you can promote your own brand and your service. It's of course too, but you learn a lot. You learn of it. It's a personal development. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot of new things. You become part of an amazing community, the USA Global TV and Radio family. So if this triggers you and says, wow, that sounds great, I always want to do our own show. I never thought about it. Maybe you experienced or not, no matter. just contact me. You're more than welcome. We do it in German. I will help you out. Prepare the show, prepare the topics with you, and yeah. Don't hesitate to contact me. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you will see you will really grow, and you can really expand your presence of your personal brand, your personality, and your business. So,
what's the best way for people to contact you, Roland?
Yeah, the best way to contact me is by email. Best way is email. Email me office@rolandfriedl.com. office@ROLANDFRIEDL.com. So, first come, first serve. I'm very looking forward to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Roland, for being here with me today. And we will be back. Our next show coming up is the Mallorca Connection. So please do stay tuned. Roland and I will be here together for that. So until then, please do subscribe to our channel, wherever it is you're watching. If you're on YouTube, if you could kindly subscribe, USA Global TV and Radio, also to our Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck YouTube channel. And we look forward to seeing you when we return. Also, tomorrow is our reunion show, which is live streaming. And we have people from all over the world that will be presenting their 15 minutes of fame. So I hope you can join us there. That's at 7 a.m. Pacific time, which is 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. British Summer Time, and 4 p.m. Central European Time. All right, let's take a look at our sponsorship, and then we'll be back shortly after this message. USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Tracy Cram-Perkins, a dementia caregiving survivor teaching how to balance care with peace of mind. #1 resource for dementia caregivers. It's the book Dementia Home Care: How to Prepare Before, During, and After. Over 17,000 copies sold of this must-have guide. And now a testimonial from Tracy Smith.
If I was to describe this book to someone who is going through a similar situation, I would underscore how important it is to have some sort of a tool or a guidebook to help you through certain stages. And there's so many, it's such an unknown topic to the average person. And to have this as a reference is essential. It's going to help you get through it personally, as well as help your loved one manage.
To learn more, go to TracyCram-Perkins.com. Tracy Cram-Perkins is an award-winning author. She's also the host of Dementia Home Care television show. Watch it here on USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.